Hi, I'm Tom Acevedo, and this is HGTV's Top Designer. We're just outside of Boston, in front of these two houses that were built by the same architect in the late 1920s. You know why this is important is because this house will be used as a reference for what this house used to look like. So one of the great things about these old houses is that they have hardwood floors that go throughout. But unfortunately in this foyer, the floor was shot. It was burnt by a kerosene heater in the 70s. So I opted for painting it. Now any floor can be painted. You just have to apply a good base coat and a couple coats of polyurethane and you'll be all set. I installed these French doors after I found them in the garbage. And rather than have them swing in or out of the room and take up valuable floor space, I installed them on a closet track, which I recessed in the trim. And because this door is stationary, it acts kind of like a wall for the desk that's on the other side. Now the first thing that you notice when you come into the living room is the fireplace. And the architect designed these fireplaces so they wouldn't work. So we installed a gas insert, which makes it nice on those cold New England nights. The walls have a subtle faux finish on them in a neutral color, which highlights the artwork. And the furniture, the newer furniture I should say, is contemporary, and that balances the heaviness of the antiques, which makes the room a little bit more personable. Now, one of the most ignored spaces in a house are the ceilings. And one of the visual tricks that I like to do is to bring the paint up onto the ceiling by about a foot. So just by bringing it up and adding a border to the inside, you create visual height and also peripherally create a tray ceiling. Now, the first thing that you notice when you come into the dining room are the built-in china cabinets. But unfortunately, these china cabinets had about 100 years of paint on them. So rather than strip and sand and paint, I opted for doing a faux bois finish or fake wood finish, reproducing the poplar wood that was next door. Now, another way to add visual height to a room, other than just painting the ceiling, is to bring the window treatments up to the ceiling. This just gives height to the room and importance to the windows. Now this is the pantry of the house. Back in the 20s, this is probably the most important room because it held the vegetables, the pots, the pans. Everything that would be normally kept in the kitchen was kept in here. And that's because there were no cabinets in these kitchens. As you saw in the last kitchen, you were lucky if you had a stove, a sink, and an icebox. So in this house, we took out the door that was to the right of the stove, and what that allowed us to do is wrap the cabinets around and meet the stove, giving us all that counter space and extra storage. I'm all about the French, so check out the boulangerie. These cabinets were inspired by a boulangerie in Paris. And what I did was I got unfinished cabinets, added a couple layers of glaze, some crackle finish, applied the wood and bun feet, and voila. So the smallest space in the house has the most appeal. Check it out. So welcome to the master suite, where I just wanted to keep it simple and sleek. Because it is the master bedroom, I just wanted to keep it neutral and luxurious. So what I chose to do is a Venetian plaster on the wall. Touch it, you want to, I know you do. And basically it's just joint compound with paint and then it's buffed with wax. As an accent wall behind the bed, I chose a grass cloth. This just grounds the room. And just, again, you just want to touch it. That's what the whole place is about. This was like the biggest challenge of the whole renovation. And what we opted to do is keep the beautiful subway tile and match it in the European shower. But the difference is that we got rid of the wood trim and wrapped the window in tile, so we don't have to put a shower curtain against that wall. So I'm glad that I could show you the redesign of my apartment. And the reason why I think you guys should choose me is because I'm interesting and I can do everything. Drywall, carpentry, electrical work, and you always need one of those guys that's gonna take his shirt off. And I'm your man. So, I'll see you guys in Hollywood. Thanks.
Thanks, Corey.